Oh, good, good, good. All right. Um, Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Dami, and I'm happy to have you guys live with us on this webinar from learning to practicing using data analysis and user research, as a case study. So my name is Dami. Like I said, I am the program manager here at Join Momentum by Waymaker Digital, and I'd like to meet you guys. So if you can just go to the chat box and just introduce yourself, your name, what you do, and where you're joining us from. If you're from Nigeria, from the UK, or any other India, the US, anywhere you're joining us from today, you can just go ahead and type it in the chat box. Okay. Thank you for joining. And today, like we all know, I'm not here alone. So I'm here with two wonderful people who are going to be speaking with us today, addressing us about um data analysis and user research. Okay. I have with me Mo Habel. Can you just wait to us? Thank you for joining, Mo. She will be introducing herself properly during our session. Okay. And I also have with me another wonderful person joining us today. She's Tolu Akinjole. She's a user researcher, and she will be speaking to us today about UX research and everything we need to know, the skills we need, and everything to become a user researcher. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. So before you can go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat room. We're happy to have all of you guys, and I believe that today you're going to get a lot of value for your time for joining us today. Okay, so in a couple of minutes, I just want to tell us a little bit about Join Momentum, what we do at Join Momentum, and what the company is all about, and how we can, benefit you as in your career, so to say. So I'll just go through the slides for just 2 minutes before I bring on the first presenter for today. They are very, very loaded and ready to give you guys a lot of value. So you guys need to pay attention, grab your notes, and at the same time, ask good questions in the chat box. Okay. All right. So let's move on now. So I want to tell us a little bit about what Momentum is all about. So Momentum is a career acceleration program. Like we used to tell everybody that's coming on board the program that Momentum is not a training. Momentum is not a course that you want to do. Momentum is a program because we bring a lot of things together to form this program, which has been helping a lot of people, to advance their career, to, especially for people who wants to transition into digital technology. So Momentum is not it's a career acceleration program that focuses on extensive, practical training, work experience, coaching and mentoring, and a lot of things that we bring into the mix to ensure that you get real value when you join the Momentum program. Okay. What is our vision or the purpose? Why are we doing this? Our mission is to support underrepresented groups and anyone with such needs to secure life-changing opportunities in digital technology across the globe, not just in Nigeria, not just in the UK, not just, but you can, actually be exposed to opportunities around the world. Okay. Um, Next in line, what do we do? How do we go about this? We combine four major things in the Momentum program. We combine personalized trainings and certifications. We talk about daily access to our digital teams for you to gain work experience, work shadowing, to see the real life application of what you're learning and what you're being coached or mentored on. And at the same time, we hold you accountable by creating a career roadmap for you, a personalized career roadmap, which is basically introduces you or tells you about what you do from when you come on board to the end of your program. So we have broken it down into four milestones that you have to, achieve in the course of the program. So that's basically what we do. Now, why now? Africa is at the heart of global talent, tech talent supply, and as a result of the pandemic, digital technology is at the heart of innovation. So there are opportunities everywhere, for us in digital technologies. That is why we need to key into this now. Okay, now you meet our team. Couple of people on a great team, doing excellent work to ensure that we give value to everyone that comes on the Momentum program. Okay, now if you want to speak with us or if you want to have a question or anything, this is our website, joinmomentum.co.uk. I'm going to put it in the chat box, joinmomentum.co.uk. Just go there and you see this link that talks about talk to an expert. Just click on it. We'll be there to speak with you. Pick a date that's convenient for you anytime, and you'll be speaking with us. So enough of momentum for today. So I'm going to be bringing up our speakers. So this is our lineup today. Tolu will be talking about from learning to practicing user research, while Mo will be talking about path to becoming a data analyst. And at the end, in just a few minutes, I will also talk about a particular wonderful program that we have introduced in the Joint Momentum program that talks about the Momentum Internship. So I'm going to be bringing up the first speaker now. So I'll stop sharing my screen so she can share her slides. And Motunrayo, over to you now. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you
Okay.
loud and clear.
All right. Mm. All right. So, good morning. Um, my name is Mo Ebo. Um, I'm a data analyst and I'm here to talk to you about becoming a data analyst. I hope that by the time I'm done with this very short presentation, you have a good idea of what a data analyst does and what you need, the skill sets you need to proceed on the path to becoming a data analyst. And if any of you have any questions, you can just ask after the little short presentation I have here. Okay, so let's talk about becoming a data analyst. Who is a data analyst? Basically, what we in the world today, I mean, especially after the pandemic and everything, businesses collect data because that's what they thrive and that's what we use to forecast and all of that. Now, what a data analyst does is they investigate the data and then they use that data to sort of inform business decisions. That's basically what data analyst is. Now, what do they do? With the data that we have, we identify past trends and use those trends to make predictions about the future. So just given this, what your typical day as a data analyst would look like would be, mining data from primary and secondary sources, cleaning and dissecting data to get rid of irrelevant information. So, what do I mean by irrelevant information? Obviously, no data is irrelevant, but there's sometimes where for the results that you want, some data is not needed. And so you get rid of that. You clean your data, you remove errors, repetitions, all of that. That's part of your job as a data analyst. You analyze and interpret the results that you have. This is where your statistics skill set comes in, and then we also have tools and techniques that can help with this. So you don't have to like take pen to paper and perform any kind of math thing. And then we pinpoint trends and patterns in data. And it's these trends and patterns that we use to forecast the future. We also identify new opportunities for process improvement. And by process improvement, I mean just the way data is stored and kept, the way data is used. Organizations generally expect of a data analyst for you to come up with some ways they can improve their process. It's not necessary, but it will be good for you to, add value in whatever you do. Then we provide data reports to management. That is after you analyze and investigate the data and you predict the future and all of that, you want to provide a report in a business friendly manner that's not very mathematical. So then you design and create and maintain database systems. But this is done in conjunction with the data scientists. So you don't have to take this on yourself, but your input will be needed. And then we fix code problems and data related issues. By this means that there's some code involved, but it's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be scared of or nervous about. Coding is very it's like entering like a formula in Excel, That's a line of code. It's just once you understand it, once you take time to learn it, it will come easy to you. There's no need to, be wary about that. Now, what tools do we use as data analysts? Basically, there's four types of tools. We have BI tools, we have programming languages, we have spreadsheets, and we have cloud computing tools. Now, what are BI tools? BI tools, I mentioned previously about presenting your report, the report of your findings to management. Now, this is where the business intelligence comes in, because that report has to be like put across in a manner that is business. So what you've done in investigating your data and all of that, it's a bit of statistics, a bit of analysis and all of that. But when you're putting out the reports, you need to put it in business terms, and that's where business intelligence tools come in. They help you, analyze and put your report in these business friendly terms to your stakeholders. And then programming languages, the ones we use mostly in data analysis is SQL, Python, and R. Depending on the organization, depends on what they will ask you for, what experience that you need. So that depends. But these three are the most popular. And then for spreadsheets, that is just used to manipulate data, like small bits of data. I think data that is not more than 200 million, I think. So like very small bits of data. The most popular ones are Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. And then we have cloud computing tools. For that, it's a bit of for as you proceed in your path as a data analyst. It's not like an entry requirement, but it's also a tool that is used by data analysts. The most popular ones are by Microsoft, which is the Azure, and by Amazon, which is AWS by Amazon. Those are the most popular cloud computing tools. Now, this leads us to skill sets. The four skill sets of a data analyst: you have the technical skills, you have analytical skills, you have soft skills, and you have domain knowledge. Technical skills has to do with all of the tools that we mentioned now. The skills you need to use those tools are technical skills. Now, this is just about learning how to use Excel, how to use SQL, how to use Tableau, how to use all of that. And it's a good place to start because you can measure your progress. You can say, "Okay, I know this much, I can do this much." It's something you can measure. Now, the remaining skills here, there's not really a sort of measurement tool for it. You just have to work on it, progress it, see how it goes. Sort of analytical skills, you need problem solving, critical thinking, research, and then learning and math skills. So these are not things you can measure. But as you go in your day-to-day life, try to think of you know, another part to a problem. Like if this doesn't work, how about we try this? How about we try this? How about we try this? How about go from here? How about things like that. This is problem solving. Critical thinking means the ability to critique your work. Like you can look, because that's what your stakeholders will do. They will ask questions, and so for you to be able to ask the questions that you think they will ask, if you get where I'm coming from, just thinking of your user in mind and using that mentality to critique your work. Research and learning just means continuous learning. As a data analyst, you have to, in any IT role, you have to keep on learning because new technologies come up every day. So you will have to keep learning. And the good thing about learning is the more you learn, the better you get at it. So, for some of us, it's maybe since school, we haven't really taking time to learn new things. But as you learn, as you go on, it becomes easier and easier. Like your brain opens up to that. So, and then for research, basically because you're working with a lot of coding, a lot of things like that, Google is your best friend. You always have a Google tab open as you're working because you might see something and be like, okay, how do I do this? And there will be loads of answers on Google to kind of help you out. For math skills, the basic mathematical skills, you need algebra. You need some algebra. You need some statistics, some probability too. Would help. Nothing too much, nothing too extensive. You're not doing an exam here. Just the basic math skills. You can find these videos on YouTube. It will be good to just kind of refresh what we all went through in school, and just that will be a good way to go about that. Then soft skills. These include communication. You know, as a data analyst, that's one of the things that you have to do. Honestly, for introverts, it is actually quite annoying. But everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody has to talk. Everybody has one thing or the other to say. There's meetings upon meetings. You have to know. You have to be very good at communicating with people. You have to be very understanding. Not everybody is in like in your field. Some people might be noobs in your field, and in their field they're experts. So when they come to you, you need to be patient in explaining. You need to be a good communicator. You need to be creative in the way you use data and the way you analyze data. Then teamwork. I mean, what field doesn't need this? You're not working alone. You're working with people, so teamwork is important. And it's good to have a strong work ethic. Come in handy. And now for domain knowledge, what do we mean by domain knowledge? Domain knowledge is whatever field you're currently working in. That's your domain knowledge. And it's very important. Why is this? So if I don't have any medical experience, but if I was to take on medical data to analyze it, it's going to take me a lot longer period because I'm going to have to be understanding what these numbers mean, what this column means, and all of that. But if someone with medical experience handles medical data, do you know what I'm talking about? The way they will, work with it will be faster. We understand a lot of things. We even understand the client needs, like how to handle the client needs. These are things that this is the advantage that your domain knowledge gives to you. Like there are a lot of job applications where they will tell you that they want a data analyst with financial services background. Because like a lot of data they're going to be working with have to do with the financial industry, and it's going to be amazing. Like to really work with data that you have expertise in. It's it's amazing. Trust me. Unlike other data that you have to kind of try to guess what's happening, it helps. So domain knowledge is also important. Now, what is the ideal path? Now that we know all this, where do you start from? Ideally, I would start from Excel. Now, don't you can take whatever path that you want. But for me, I think it would be nice to start from Excel and then SQL. The reason why these two are important is majority of junior data roles ask for these two, SQL and Excel. Really, everybody just assumes that you know Excel anyway. Nobody even asks anymore. But SQL is very, very important. It's the most widely used programming language by data analysts. And then it's also nice to learn one BI tool. So either Power BI or Tableau or Google Data Studio, really. You can learn just as you learn one, it kind of once you learn one, it makes learning the others easier. But also what it does is with these three, you can actually get employed. You can actually start looking for jobs and get a job. And then as you go on the job, because I'm not going to tell you to learn everything before you start a job. As you go on the job, then you can learn other programming languages like Python and R. This would also help you, open up the market, open up more opportunities for you. And then you can go to cloud computing, which is the AWS and Azure that I mentioned previously. So now this is the ideal part that I will take and I will suggest if you want to proceed here. Um, but this is just you can take it at your own pace. You can also like research into it and see what best works for you. I know people that learn BI tools first. They learn a BI tool first before they go to SQL. It works. But with these three, as long as you know Excel, a BI tool, and SQL, you can actually start taking interviews and all of that. So I hope that that has been able to clear up some things for you if you decide to go become a data analyst. Now, if you have any questions, I'd like for you to ask me those questions and everything, and I hope I'll be able to help in any way that I can. Okay.
All right.
I
Good. Thank you very much, Mo, for that. That's
thank
that's that's
you.
wonderful. Yes. So we have some questions. I'm just going to take a couple of them. I'm going to take one actually for you. Every other question we take them one by. Okay. Um, so I'll take this one. Do I need advanced Excel or just basic skills?
Okay, so there's when it comes to Excel, I are rated as basic, intermediate, advanced, then master skills. So by master skills, I'm talking VBA level and all of that. But I think when you're in advanced, not VBA, not like coding in Excel, but like advanced is a good place to be. The reason is there are things that you will do in Excel, but your work is not extensively in Excel. You kind of use it as a means to an end, to get to other places. So advanced is good, but you don't need to go expert level. That's what I mean. Like you need a little bit more than basic, just a bit more. But if you take 1 hour YouTube video, I'm sure it will help a lot. Like an hour tutorial on YouTube, it'll be fine.
Thank you very much for that, Mo. So if you have questions for Mutarayo, you can drop them and we will take them, or we might not be able to take everything on this call because we have very limited time. So if you drop us questions, we will definitely reach back to you with answers after this webinar. Thank you very much, Mutarayo. Thanks for your time. We really appreciate your, you know, value. Thank you very much. So um, next in line, I'm going to be bringing up someone that we will all be happy to listen to and to hear today, just as we are happy to have listened to Motonrayo. But now we are moving to the area of user research. Okay, the other time Motonrayo was talking about code, mathematical formulas, and everything. But if you're like me and you don't want to hear these things, all hope is not lost for you in digital technology. There are so many areas that you don't need to learn lines of code. You don't need to spend, nights on YouTube learning, code syntax and everything. So I'm going to be bringing on board now someone to talk to us about user research, and that will be Tolu Akinjole. Tolu, over to you
Yes.
now.
Thank you very much, Dami. Well, I wonder how many people are like us on this call that don't like to hear the codes and all. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Tulu Akinjole, and I lead the growth initiatives at Waymaker Digital. I'm overseeing two digital projects at the moment, and in the course of this discussion, well, it's more of a discussion. In the course of this discussion, you will get to know more, about me. So, um, I like to just go straight into this as I share my screen. Yes. So I'm going to start from, let me just quickly give you an overview of what we're going to discuss today, and take notes that I'm actually going to be speaking from the perspective of, my learning process and how I got to practicing user research, and how, somebody on this call might just, be the next user researcher that will be working in the same space, right? So before I proceed, I'll just like to know the different areas of expertise that we have on this call. So do you mind just in the comment section, just tell me what you currently do? Are you an engineer? Are you an administrator? I'm just interested. I would like to identify my fellow user researchers that will be getting to work together in the near future. So I'll just like to start. So what is user research? So first of all, I know that user research is a very green field. A lot of people don't know about user research. I mean, data analysis is out there, Scrum Master is out there, project manager is out there. But what is user research? So user research, it focuses on understanding user behavior, their needs and their motivations through interviews, surveys, and other forms of methodologies. Let me bring it down to layman's term, like something that the way you can understand. User research is user research is simply it's simply how you will replace your guesswork with informed insight, right? So initially, when a product is being designed, yeah, so there'll be a lot of assumptions, there'll be ideas, there'll be, oh, I think it would be nice to create it like this, I think it would be nice to put it this way, right? But with user research, you're able to replace that guesswork. You're able to replace that with informed insights. You're able to replace that with informed insight, and that's the beauty of user research. Another thing about user research is user research, yeah, it helps you to drive and inform a design process. That's another thing user research does for you. And the interesting thing about user research is the fact that it helps. It's like saying it helps you to test the waters, right, before you jump right in. You know how you're thinking of creating a product, but you need to test the waters before you really start. That's what user research does. It helps you to actually test the waters before you dive right in. Um, all right. So I hope I've been able to explain that. And also, user research is a process of discovering insights to guide successful designs and products. So what that means is that with you, when you conduct, if you're able to conduct a user research, right, you're able to discover some insights that you would pass to designers of products, and they're able to create, designs that are usable and that users are interested, that meets a need. Yes, let me put it that way. Now, who conducts the research? Wait, I'd like to share a very personal story about what user research is. So, a few years ago, I found myself on a job, and I was supposed to just design business process for this company. And then when I got in, yeah, I was minding my business, and then suddenly I discovered, wait a minute, they were not having the kind of customers they were supposed to be having. They were not getting enough inquiries and all. So I decided to do a little bit of digging. And in the process of digging, I found out that okay, there was their website was good to go. They had a lot of things going on for them. They had high-end products, they had very good products, but they were not having, it was not corresponding with the number of customers. A little bit of digging, I found out that, not many people were visiting the website. And then um, I also got to find out that. So I decided to liaise with the IT departments, why are we not having visitors on the website? So we spoke to a few of their existing customers, like, oh, have you checked the website? And then we found out that, right, that um, the the website, right, was not user friendly, right? They would rather just give a call or walk down to the office. And if they can't give a call, if they can't walk down to the office, they just move on straight to the competitor. And we found that, and then we were able to, the IT department was able to work something out and increase the user interface and the experience of the user. So guess what? Long before I started, learning how to be a user researcher, I was already practicing user research. Fast forward to February this year, I decided to enroll with Momentum as a user researcher to get trained, to learn, to join the program. And every time I join a coaching call or they're saying something about user research, I'm like, oh, that sounds familiar. Oh, I think I've been there. I think I've done this before. Yeah. So we might just have some people here, you're already practicing without even realizing it, right? You're already in that field without realizing that, oh, okay, I'm already practicing this particular skill set without even realizing it. So please look on the inside. You might just be a user researcher that is already, practicing, and you just need to harness, you just need a program that can, harness and help you discover that user researcher in you. So who conducts the research? So a user researcher actually conducts the research, and a user researcher is actually plans, is the user researcher is responsible for planning, for designing and executing research activities. And another thing I like to mention is the concept of user research, right? Is to actually first understand what the problem is before drawing up a solution. So let me explain it this way, right? So you don't go about providing solution to a problem that doesn't exist. Or you don't go about providing solution when you don't even know what the problem is. So how do you design a solution when you don't even know what the problem is? Yes, that is the concept of user research. You're able to understand what the problem is before drawing up a solution. So the problem you're able to identify is what the design team is able to draw up a solution, to solve. Yeah. Another thing I like to mention is that for you to be able to successfully understand what the problem is, a great level of curiosity will be required. Now, remember the personal story I shared. Okay, so this happened to me in 2017. So curiosity led me. That's why I said I was already practicing user research without even realizing it. And that's, for some of us, that's our everyday life, right? And we don't even realize, you can't even just put the only difference is you can't put a professional name to it. So I was so curious, and that led me, from one discovery to the next discovery, from one question to another question, to speaking with existing customers. Then we discovered, what the problem was. So it's very, very important that a great level of curiosity is required for you, as a user researcher. Now, you've heard me talk about user, from the beginning. You hear that all the time. Now, who is a user? A user is anyone who interacts with a product. Anyone that has an interaction with a product is a user, right? And all the activities of a user researcher are mainly focused on the user. All the activities of a user researcher are usually focused on the user, because the user is the main participant in the user research. Because what you're trying to do in your user research activity is that you're trying to actually um, you are trying to capture. What you're going to do is you're going to capture information, you're going to capture data, you're going to capture reactions, emotions, pain points, and needs of the user. So it's from capturing all this data, information, emotions. Emotions means that your body language is part of your research, is part of the data you're trying to capture, right? So you're able to harness all this information, right, for you to pass to the designers of the product. And it informs the decision, the design, and what you're going to do with the product they're designing. I'd just like to say, if you have questions, remember you can drop your questions, right there in the comment section, so that I'll be able to take the questions after the. Yes, yeah. So the next thing I'd like to mention. Okay. So what do user researchers do? This is my best part. What do user researchers do, right? So I'm actually a user researcher in training. I enrolled with the program February. And yes, so what do we do? User researchers, they create user research plans and they execute. So if there is a research to be done, it is a responsibility of the user researcher to actually create a research plan. Okay, how am I going to run this plan? How are we going to execute? Then you run to execution, you deliver your research, to the team. Another thing that user researchers do is we recruit participants for research. So when you have a research activity to run, you actually need participants for that research. So for example, if the methodology you're going to use is going to be, let me say, for example, usability testing. So I'm using usability testing because on the Momentum program, I'm on a live project right now. And okay, I won't tell you the name of the product. Yes. If you want to know the name of the product, well, that will be probably when you give a call, when you join the program, or if I get to extend an invitation for usability test to you. Yeah. So for example, you recruit participant for research. So we were running a usability test, right? And we had to get participants to run the usability test. Now, in getting participants, it doesn't mean I'm just going to run on the street and get somebody to take a usability test. Usability test is like saying, okay, there's a prototype, yeah, and I'd like you to test the prototype and tell me, I want you to interact with that prototype. I want you to know how you feel about this product. Does it meet a need? Can it perform the task that you want it to perform? So in the process of doing that, we had to now look for real users of that product. Who are the real users of that product? And we had to recruit them, engage them and get them to take the test, right? So that's it's a very interesting task as a user researcher, because I actually love to meet people. And so this has given me an opportunity to meet people, to talk, have conversations and actually get real life feedback to say, oh, this is what I feel about this product. Yes, this product actually meets my needs. Okay, can you tweak it a little? Can you add this? Oh, can you take this out? Oh, or I just love it the way it is. Please don't change anything. So it has given me an opportunity to interact with real users. Yeah. So another thing about what user researchers, another thing I like to mention about what user researchers do is that user researchers, they conduct interviews. Yeah. Just like when I mentioned they recruit participants for research. So one of the main methodologies we've been applying on that particular project is recruiting for usability test. But sometimes the methodology you might need to conduct might actually be, research interviews. So it could be one-on-one. You could actually conduct the interview with a team of users or participants. Yeah. So in conducting interview is also one of them. Another aspect is the engage target users. So just like when you conduct interview, you engage target users, you're able to have conversations with them, you're able to see their point of view and understand, the angle they're coming from with reference to the product, or with reference to the problem, or with reference to the pain points and the kind of solution they're expecting to get from the product. Another thing about user researchers is that user researchers have to have a lot of team collaboration. Team collaboration is very important for you as a user researcher. Now, on the team, when you have a team that you're working with, you're not going to work alone as a user researcher. No, it doesn't work that way. As a user researcher, you're supposed to actually collaborate with a team. You are expected to collaborate with a team. So by a team, what do I mean? So as a team, what I mean by that is you have a team of product designers, you have a team of data analysts, you have a team of designers. You get to work with various teams as a user researcher. So on that team, you're expected to collaborate. You're not supposed to work alone. You're not supposed to be an islander. You're supposed to collaborate with the team, work as a team, in fact, delegate duties. Working as a team could also mean that, okay, you have a research to be conducted, carry your team along. You're expected to actually carry your team along. And they could even take notes for you while the interview is ongoing, or while you're running the usability test. They could take notes for you. And then when it comes to putting your results together, your data together, work with your team. So as a user researcher, you're actually expected to collaborate with a team. Also, you work with various tools. There are various tools. Actually, some of us are actually working with some of these tools already without even, realizing that, look, this tool that you're working with right now, you can actually apply it in other fields. Yes, there are other tools that you get to learn once you get on the user research training program. There are some tools that will be introduced. There are some tools I got to learn when I started the program. Yeah, some of them I was already using, familiar. Some are regular and common tools that we work with every day. But some of them are just tools that it will actually enhance your work, your workflow as a user researcher. And lastly, user researchers are supposed to present research findings to the team. So what's the use of having your report or your data collected and you keep it to yourself? No, you have to be able to present to the team. You have to be able to tell the team, this is the result of my findings. This is what we found out from this research and all. And lastly, I'd like to talk about the requirements and skills for a user researcher, just in case, I'm sure that I have colleagues, user researchers on the team, in the near future on this team. So what are the requirements and skills? Some of these skills you already have. Some of them you'll learn along the way, and some of them it comes with the job. The more you learn about it, the more you practice those skills. You get to develop some of those skills. Now, number one, as a user researcher, you need to be empathetic. You need to be empathetic as a user researcher. Empathy is very, very important for you as a user researcher. So empathy means, you're able to show empathy towards the user's feelings and their experience. The fact that you feel a certain way about a product, right, doesn't mean it should affect your user. Remember, the user is the focus in the user research exercise. Yeah, and being empathetic means you're able to show empathy towards the feelings and experiences of the user. Also, as a user researcher, for you to practice as a user researcher, there is no specific degree required. Actually, there is no degree in any university now that says, okay, you're going to study to be a user researcher. So there's no specific degree required. And that was why at the beginning of this session, I asked, can you just share with me what's your field of study? What are you doing, right now in your place of employment? So because there is no specific degree required, you can still, guess what? I actually studied history and international relations, and here I am today as a user researcher in training, but I'm almost there. Like, I'm already practicing. I'm already on live projects, right? So yeah, not specific degree is required. Then you need to be able to have the ability to work collaboratively within a multidisciplinary team. So remember, we're within a multidisciplinary team. I had mentioned earlier how, you're going to have different members of the team to work with. You're going to have product managers, developers, designers, data scientists, data analysts. You need to be able to work collaboratively because you're not supposed to actually work alone. Then you need to be analytical. You have to be analytical. You have to be able to interpret your findings, right? And be able to work with different tools. I already mentioned that some of these tools are most of them are easy to use, and they're just tools that would enhance your productivity actually. Then a bit of experience in agile practices. Let me share a bit of experience. So when I joined this program, right? So this program, very interesting program with momentum. So this program actually, they allow, the program comes with a particular package. So that package allows me to join the company's meetings. You join the stand-up meeting. The stand-up meeting is supposed to be actually an agile practice. Yeah. And I joined stand-up meetings, Monday to Friday for 15 minutes, right? There's work shadowing. So I get to work with other user researchers. I see them do what they do. I see them make moves. I see them make calls. I see them send reports. I see them gather data. So I get to work with all those people. So the agile practice, yeah, I thought I had agile practices until I joined the program and I saw, agile practice live. Yeah, and how I was able to, and because every other person was already practicing in the agile environment, I had to naturally go with the flow, and I got to understand how that works. And I was able to go with the flow, and I'm a very good fit with the team now. Yeah, I can say that. Then build a portfolio. So build a portfolio, that's one of the things that the program has helped me to do, to build my user researcher portfolio. Okay, let me make reference to one activity. So there's this activity that we engage in every week. It's called knowledge sharing, right? So I have been able to create, I think I have 2 items now on the from my knowledge sharing that I have added to my user researchers portfolio. So if an employer comes knocking for me tomorrow, and during the course of my interview, I'm asked for my portfolio, I will gladly present a portfolio to you. And let me use this opportunity to say thank you to Momentum for giving me this opportunity and for helping me, build my portfolio. I'm proud of what I have, and I'm looking forward to adding more. Thank you so much. And lastly, gain user research experience. One of the best things you can do for yourself um, to become a good user researcher is for you to gain that experience. Yeah, you can gain experience through volunteering, working with other researchers, and That's one of the things the program, yes, I think I shared that earlier, that I currently, in the course of my program right now, I get to work with other user researchers. I get to see how they run things. I see how they gather data. I see how they, and I'm on a live project. I'm on 2 live projects right now. And that has helped me. So in conclusion, I'd just like to say generally, because it's a green field, yeah, it's clear that its user research is new. So because it is new and we don't have a lot of user researchers out there, because of that, user researchers are in high demand. They are in high demand. If because of time, I may not be able to share so much on that, but on the program, yes, you'll be able to actually see and understand more about user researchers and the opportunities that are open, the job employment, the opportunities are, a lot of opportunities because we don't have a lot of user researchers out there. So you might just want to join the band before, the whole world wants to become a user researcher. I think this is a very good time for you to tap into it. And thank you so much for listening. I'll be taking your questions right now. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Amazing, amazing, Tolu. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
sharing. Myself, I've got so much to take away today. Thank you very much for all the insights that you have shared today. So I'm going to be taking a question from, okay, so there's a question that says, this is from Henrietta. It says, how can one gain user research experience as a beginner from a non-tech background? I know you talked about that in your presentation, but in a minute, can you just go over that again?
I love that question. So, like I said, I studied history and international relations, and to gain experience. So that was in my head too. So on the momentum program has given me the opportunity to practice, to gain the experience. So so they put me on 2 live projects. Can you imagine? And I'm already practicing as a user researcher. Yes, because I'm working with other user researchers. I have that experience. And what happens is that so on my CV, oh, you don't want to see my CV now. What momentum has done to my CV, all the tools I've learned and everything I've learned is on my CV right now. So my CV also shows that I have user research experience because I'm on live project. I actually have the experience. I'm working with other user researchers. I'm working with Momentum has its own organizations and its own organization, and they have this project. So yes, I'm on project. I'm a user researcher. I'm practicing. Oh yes, if okay, you can send an email and say that you want to partake in a usability test, and you will see me in action. That's all I can say for now. With Momentum, yeah, they offer that experience opportunity.
Great, great, great. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Tolu. So I see some questions. Some are asking, would I be granted access to these tools and platform in the course of the program? The answer is yes. Okay. Momentum, like I said at the beginning of this webinar, is that Momentum is not a course. Momentum is not a training. It's a program. It combines a lot of things that ensure that you are ready and you are not alone in the course of this program. Okay. We have mentors, we have people who are in the industry, we bring in external resources to come out. We will even interview you, before you go out there to get interviewed by, recruiters or employers, so to say. So you are covered on the Momentum program. And I'm going to be dropping the website on the chat box. So if you want to check us out, feel free to check us out. And at the same time, you can book a call with us. Definitely, we will be there to speak with you and to throw more light on you. We might not be able to do everything on this call. Okay. So that will be that. Now, another question to Lu before you go. I know we are out of time, but I'll just quickly add this. Someone has a question. Can someone be both a user researcher and a technical analyst? A technical analyst, more or less like a business analyst or something. So can I be a user researcher and still be a business analyst or technical analyst?
All right, that's very interesting. So, what space are you right now? Are you a user researcher? Are you a business analyst? What are you doing right now? For me, you can. You can, and they are both in the digital space. They are both in the technical digital world. So why not if not? So sometimes you would have projects as a user researcher, and sometimes you have a project as a business analyst. Sometimes you might have both projects. You might have projects running concurrently, and then you just have to see what works for you per time. Which are they going to, are you going to be able to manage both projects at the same time? If you can, why not? You can be both. That's a very good portfolio that you have right there. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Olu. I have no doubt that you're going to answer that as 100% correctly as possible. Thank you very much. So yes, you can do both actually. Before we go now, that will be the end of questions for today, but you can still drop your questions in the chat box. We will definitely get them and we will definitely respond to you. We have your email addresses. We will reach out to you. And at the end of this program, the recording will be made available for everyone that has registered. So you have nothing to worry about. From when we started, everything is covered. Now, before we go, I'm going to be talking a little bit about something that is very, very important before we go today. So just bear with me. In just 2 minutes, we'll be out of here. I'm going to be sharing my screen now so you can see. Okay. Coming up, coming up, coming up, coming up. Just a minute. I'll be there. All right. So, okay. So I want to talk about momentum internships. Okay. So what is momentum internships? What do we do and how do we, go about it? First of all, we need to know what momentum is all about. So at Join Momentum, we do most of our work for you. That's why we call it a done for you program. Everything is done for you. We do quite a lot of things. I can't start, if I start saying everything on this call today, we might not live here very in a short while. So the best thing, if you want to learn more about momentum, go to our website, www.joinmomentum.co.uk, and on that space, on that website, on our homepage, you will see Talk to an Expert. Just click on it and schedule a time that you are able to speak with us, and we will definitely be there to give you all the information that you need, to give you deeper insights into what we do at Momentum, how we do it, and what you stand to gain if you come on the program. There's quite a lot to talk about, okay? Now, what is Momentum Internship? Now, why hire our interns? Now, the reason why Momentum Internship, what we do is people who have come on the Momentum program at the point of your registration or your onboarding, we ask you, are you open to internships? And if you're open to internships, we have relationships with some small and medium enterprise businesses or startups or companies like that are interested in bringing on board interns who have the skills that you have, and you have been trained for on the Momentum program. And what we do is we want to be a bridge between you and these small businesses or SMEs and medium businesses or startups, so that you can go and transfer the skills that you have learned on the Momentum program, in these businesses. And one thing that does for you is that if you are okay and they like your performance, which we are still going to be supporting you on the program, we are still going to be giving you the mentoring, coaching, and everything that you need to succeed as an intern in that role. So if they find your performance very good and okay after the performance review and everything, and they can decide to bring you on board and to hire you, 100% as a permanent employee. So that's one good thing about joining Momentum program. Now, why do businesses want to hire our interns? Number one reasons why they hire interns. Number one, you want to reduce overall employee workload. If you have a project or you have a product and you have a timeline that is very close and you need to meet and you need more hands to join you to work on your project, you don't need to go in the market and start the hiring process, which in itself is a very long process. And there's a lot of risk involved. So what we do is to bring our people who are job market ready, and we bring them onto as interns for these businesses to work with them on their project. So two things: the company is benefiting from a reduced overall employee workload, and the intern at the same time is gaining practical, work experience. You're building your network, and you're building your portfolio in the process. So another reason why you should hire our interns is because you want to discover new and hidden talent. Another reason is because you want to reduce your cost. We all know that the cost of recruitment is a little bit high for businesses. So you need a risk-free process that can help you to bring the intern on board, work with the intern for a couple of time, and at the same time, before after that internship, you bring them on board as your employee if they have performed, really great. So that's one of the reasons why. So the roles that we currently support on Momentum, we have the product manager or owner, we have business analysts, we have scrum masters, content designers, client relationship managers, we have data analysts, we have cyber security professionals, we have cloud computing engineers, and a couple of other ones. All this information is on our website, and you can get it at any time. Okay, now how do you request for an intern? All you need to do is, I'm going to put the link in the chat box. So all you need to do is go there, fill a request for intern, a form, and from there you get someone from our team. You get assigned an account manager who is going to call you and try to do all the verifications and everything about your business. And from there we take it forward, and you have your intern. So that's basically what it's all about. We do the onboarding, the reviews, we set up the workspace for daily reporting or weekly reporting and everything for you. And from there, we take it forward. All right. So that's basically everything. Thank you very much for your time, for joining us on this call today. If you still have questions you want to ask, please feel free to go to the website, book a call with us. I'm going to show you the screen now so you can have an idea of what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is what it looks like. So if you go to our website, www.joymomentum.co.uk, you definitely see this there. I'm putting the link again in the chat box. So in case you want to join us, just click on talk to an expert, or you can call our direct line. Someone will be there to speak with you. Thank you for joining us today. I want to say a very huge thank you to our presenters, Tolu and Mo. You guys give it to us back to back. It was really good. Thank you very much for your time, and we really appreciate you. Thank you everybody for joining. That will be the end of the session. If you have registered, you will definitely get a link to watch the replay of this webinar today. Thank you very much. We'll see you next month. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.